It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level gaming.
What's up, guys, and welcome back. Today, we have a special guest with us. That special guest is not here at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Because
we record intros every time we record.
we do, yeah. We
things.
record our intros a little separately to when we play the game.
We tried to record it at the time. We didn't run out of time, though.
We did run out of time. But basically, today's a weird one. It's not a typical game that we would play in terms of where we're at now with our bytes, because we usually have been focusing on those kind of cheaper, like $10 to $30 experiences. But it's one that we've been following since the demo stages, because it is such an important game in the history of games. And we also brought our special guest, our good old buddy Jordan, back to play it with us, because he was there for the last two demos that we played, and that game is Final Fantasy 15. So
I was going to make another Final Fantasy 15 joke, but I realized I've made a bunch
you've
of them
run
already.
out of all your
Yeah.
You have no more Final Fantasy jokes left.
I'm done.
But so this game has been brewing for about 10 years, and basically
I was in middle school when this game started.
Yeah,
Right?
people bought
Yeah.
PS3s for this.
I was in
game.
middle school.
And it's finally released within a week of the last game.
Final Fantasy is finally released. Hey!
Okay. So that's his one joke out of the way. So Jordan will be joining us for the commentary of this particular episode. We are playing his character because he is further in the game. And as you know, he loves to talk tech and talk mechanics and stuff. So hopefully it's a good one for you guys that are into all of that. So yeah, without further ado, Final Fantasy 15, it's finally here. We finally get to play it. Hopefully it is fantastic.
Fantasy-tastic?
Enjoy.
We're real bad at puns.
Hey guys,
What's up?
look at that chocobo.
Chocobo.
Look at those.
Ooh, I kicked the table.
Look at that.
Don't
Look
you
at that
want
feather
to take
tech.
me to Bermuda?
And look at
Bahama?
my one green chocobo.
Come on, pretty mama.
Why is he green?
Because I made him green.
Take me down
Because
to
he's-
Chocobo.
But like, why did you choose to make him green?
Because I wanted Promptos to be different from the rest
How
of
do you
the
know?
team.
How do you know it's a him?
I don't know, chocobo. I don't
Have
see.
you checked?
Chocobo.
I mean, I guess. Oh, sorry, chocobo. So yeah, guys, this is
This is the big game of this year. Both you. One of the reasons we wanted Jordan to come on was to talk about this with Tom, because I don't play Final Fantasy, so we wanted somebody else who could speak to it.
yeah,
Jordan is in control, just FYI.
yeah. This is Final Fantasy 15.
That
This
means
is
there's 14 other of them. Well, actually, there's way more than 14.
there's a lot more.
There's a lot more. They
So
just don't know
this
how to
game,
count.
for the uninitiated, was announced in 2006. I was
Yeah.
16 when this game was announced.
My sister was graduating high school when this was announced.
Yeah, which is crazy to me to think that this game has been, in one state or another for 10 years.
What was 2006?
I
Was that
don't know if it was
PS2?
consistently being worked on for 10 years. I feel like it had a couple years on, couple years off, couple years on, couple years off, because they kept,
But-
breaking with development.
Yeah,
teams.
10 years though.
Yeah.
I guess
Ten
PS2 or
years total.
PS3?
I guess PS3. So
PS3.
this is supposed to be a launch with PS3, and I
Yeah.
guess this iteration of it with this director only started about 3 years ago. And this is the same director as the one from Final Fantasy Type 0, which was the PS.
There's a
P.
thing coming at you.
Yeah, I got a Gigantoad that's coming to try and get me.
Oh, num num.
Uh,
So, for those who aren't aware, how far are we into the?
Yeah, so
Where are we at in the timeline here?
So right here, so we're gonna load up two different save files of mine. We're actually playing on my game because I've gotten a little bit further than Tom has, and so we wanted to go ahead and maybe
Not show the
showcase
intro?
a little, not showcase the intro, and also not showcase anything too slow or anything like that. We wanted to make sure we were kind of in the the thick of everything. So this is about 16 hours in for me. I'm in chapter 5 out of 13 of them.
And there may be, I mean, I don't know if you know what we're going to do, but there might be potential spoilers, just FYI.
There are minor spoilers,
Just heads up.
but
But-
it's something that's relatively
Yeah.
inconsequential.
Just
So,
one. I feel like just for fair warning.
yeah. So JRPG, you do have this action-based combat system. I just wanted to do something other than running around while we were kind of talking. So right now with the storyline, you are the Prince Noctis. You have to go meet your betrothed to stop a war. Right now I am looking at getting the power of the 6, who are the 6 summons that have carried over into this game. and I have to go meet with Rama, who's all the way over there.
And so you got to go to that point.
Yeah, but before that, we're gonna go ahead and camp.
Can I just say the water effects are beautiful?
Oh
Aren't
yeah, the art design in this game, I think this world is absolutely gorgeous. I've been playing it on PS4 Pro with a 4K TV, and it's looked phenomenal, and it still looks really great even on 1080p with the higher frame rate.
Tom, I think he's knocking your TV.
I'm
played it on 4K.
not
my own TV.
not dissing it. So we're gonna camp. So the leveling up system, which is something that's usually in most RPGs, doesn't happen after every battle. You actually have to go through and you have to camp. And what happens is one of your characters builds up a camp. You level up. And you also get to look at a few of the different things that kind of improve the characterization of the game.
You got a report card apparently too. Your finesse was not A+ like everything else.
No, yeah.
You weren't so finesses.
So one of your characters, Ignis, cooks, and the food in this game is unrealistic looking.
Video idea. We're gonna make some Final Fantasy food.
I would totally join you guys with that.
I don't know.
I like the look of a lot of it. I assume they are proper Japanese dishes.
A lot of it's English dishes. So each of your foods are how you get your buffs. Instead of you can use your standard items or whatever. But these meals give you.
Can we just take a second to look at talk about how nice those pictures are?
They
I know
are
it's real
really
dumb, but
well
it's making me
Well,
real
let me show
hungry
you.
just
Let me
looking
show
at
you
them.
how much better. So this is my favorite meal because it gives
The
you
mother
an
and child
HP boost.
faithful.
1,000. It increases experience points by 30% and increases item drop rate by 50%.
Is that why Noctis got a little heart above his head?
So each character also has their favorite. So when you choose their favorite, it gives them a stat boost for the duration of the time that
a cup of
they
noodles?
are using it. Yeah, he loves cup of noodles. There's a really funny. There's a lot of product placement in this game, and it's kind of surreal. So I'm gonna cook my mother and child's chicken rice, and then you can also free feed your chocobo. Oh, it's raining, so it won't actually show the food. But when you cook it, it slides it on the table. We'll try to get some of that.
I love how it's a Coleman tent. You're talking about product placement.
I told you, yeah.
Coleman tent.
So this is where you get your level up. You go through, it shows you that. You get all your EXP, and it levels everyone up. So you can gain like 5 levels and not actually have anything matter.
Do you think they did product placement because of how long it took to make this game? So, like,
They ran out
development
of
costs?
money.
Yeah.
Maybe. It's just very surreal, I think, is what it is.
I notice you're roughly the same level I am with fishing. Is it because fishing is kind of hard to come by, isn't it?
It can be. I also with fishing things, it's usually my least favorite portion of it.
There's a trophy for catching all the fish, I believe.
There's a trophy for getting to level 10 with each of your different things. So each of your characters, and this is one of my favorite parts of this game, which Tom, you can probably echo your sentiments as well, is so Prompto really likes photography, and if you watch the anime, you realize that he did it because he was kind of a chubby, unlikable kid, and it still goes into the game. So he takes photos randomly throughout the game that you can look at. And
are these dynamic or are they?
They're
a mixture.
There's a mixture. They always are from the point of view of Prompto at any given point. So sometimes they will be like so you get these really cool spell effects, or they'll be like in the middle of his butt.
What I'm saying is, like, will Tom get the same photos you do?
Wrong thing.
Not always. There's some that you actually go and sit on an actual spot to do it, and there's other times when he just does it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is that a pre-made photo, or is that one because you did that?
It's kind of a mixture.
So that's like a pre-made photo right there. Is one that's like, okay, like you can sometimes Prompto will call you out and be like, hey, let's take a photo here. So you can save up to 150, and I'll kind of show you some of the photos that I have in a little bit. But I really think that it is like kind of like Pokemon. You had 150 of them.
But you can share that to actual social media.
Yeah, I have before.
I was gonna say I've seen a few people. My buddy Sam has done it as well. You smack it on the butt.
Yeah, so sometimes characters, when you are camping based off of locations, will holler at you and be like, "Hey, can we go, do this thing tomorrow morning?"
Take some late picks.
I'm probably not going to do this one because this one...
Jordan, he wants your dick.
No, I've already done this one. He wants to fight a really tough enemy that can take about, 20 minutes to kill.
Gotcha.
So I don't necessarily think that is the best use of this, but your characters will sometimes be like, hey, can you do this with me? And
hey, cousin, want to go bowling?
Want to go bowling, cousin. And it'll boost their stats for that day or whatever. And it's just like that smaller amount of characterization. And I think the things like the photos and the cooking all really add to make your characters more realistic.
For cooking, I assume you find blueprints or whatever you call them, recipes. throughout the world.
The blueprint of food,
Yes.
otherwise known as a
The
recipe.
As a recipe.
Like, you don't just have all of them.
Correct. So you do you'll find new ingredients. So if we go to the map, you will kind of see. So this is your map, which just kind of looks like a standard open world map.
Yeah.
You'll see like these little leaves right there. Those are ingredients. So you can go pick up those ingredients, and when you meet the requirements for a specific dish, it will pop up with it.
Gotcha. So you don't necessarily have to go find the recipe. You just have to find the stuff for it.
You
It's
either
like,
have
now
to
you know.
eat the food at another location, or you have to
Yeah.
find enough
Gotcha.
ingredients that he kind of imagines one up.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
cool.
I'll show that too. So you go to restaurants, and the restaurants, he'll be like, "Oh, this is great. I know the recipe just by eating it, because that's."
I was going to ask a question to you, actually,
Yeah.
which I would like an answer to. So I've spent a lot of my time
What's that?
using the hotel rooms and things like that,
Yeah.
the caravans. I do not do a lot of camping because I often get nervous about being out after dark, because
Yeah.
obviously it gets a little bit more
Oh, find a
difficult
Mac.
after dark. Is it advised to camp more so than to use the caravans?
I
or not?
always camp because one, it raises the level of your gladiolus, and the higher level gladiolus is with camping. Oh shit! Someone's grabbing onto me. So the higher level gladiolus is for camping, the more perks that you can get by camping at night.
Gotcha.
So
See,
I
I
just
was
got
unaware that was
kind of
his
fucked.
thing.
Yeah, so his thing is camping. So the more you camp, the more perks you will get out of everything. So the battle system here is probably the biggest departure from anything with the Final Fantasy. So it is this active time. You hold down a trigger, and it kind of does everything for you. And then you have, if you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, you have weapons that you can actually switch through, a la like Devil May Cry.
Tom, I'm getting real flashbacks to episode Duscae right now.
Yeah.
It's so much better than episode Duscae was, though. Like, not even, there's like,
Yeah.
There's
I
like-
just
oh,
that's
shit.
that's the last time I actually saw this game was that. And
This
then,
is a fully realized version, and I think they
yeah.
did a
That
great
was
job.
that was one of the first ones we did. So that was what, a year and a half ago.
It's a while ago.
I think.
that was, I mean,
We
before.
followed the entire progress, as far as demos for this game. We did this, we did the Platinum demo, we did Duscae, although Duscae did get an update to it, which we have talked about how it's interesting that it got a demo update,
Yeah.
like the Resident Evil update, and it's one of the few games that I can think of that got an update to the demo.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely. I'm about to die.
They did listen to their fans quite a
Yeah.
lot.
So you have the ability to, as you kind of see me, like, there's different things that are highlighted in the environment, and you can actually warp with your character. So warping allows you to heal when you're actually up there, like perched on one of those little warp sections.
Can they hit you while you're up there?
They can, but usually you're so far away. So like that, yeah.
Like that?
You can also warp and do extended damage to something when you actually do a warp strike with it. So you have the ability to change your different weapons. Each different character or each enemy type has,
wow.
different strengths, weaknesses.
You need to
or
work on your
whatever.
finesse.
Uh,
I've learned that your finesse is your weak point.
Finesse is the hardest thing to actually get an A in this game with, like, because there have been ones where I've just been flipping the fuck around and like looking super cool.
It's like you
and
got an
it's
A
just
plus
like,
on the other two.
Nah.
They gave you the D on that one.
I think finesse is more like if you do more combinations, like combo things with your partners, as well as doing
Yeah.
some good solo moves. It's kind of a combination of everything, using different weapons,
Yep.
that kind of thing.
And that's one thing I didn't really get to do right there with some combos with your teammates. So you do have the ability to like level up your characters and get them different limit breaks that allow you to like do combined attacks with all of them. So there's still a lot of things that are present in the old Final Fantasies, just in refreshing ways.
Stupid question. So you just ran past something.
Yeah.
How do you know if it's going to attack you or not? If it turns red?
You start to get like this little red indicator light,
Okay.
yeah, and once you
Like
like
that?
that guy up there, and then you'll look at your mini map and there's a little red circle. If you just get out of the red circle, you're okay.
Okay. Because you just kind of blew past that guy. And
It's
he's
a
like,
little,
yep,
little bit Metal Gear Solid. You kind of, it'll build up to that point, then it's like,
Yeah.
suddenly it'll just go after you.
I need to remember.
But it is worth avoiding certain interactions if possible.
Okay, so I need to go. So that's where I need to get to, is that orange guy. I'm right here. So I just need to go down this alleyway and kind of go
Back to the road.
go that way. So chocobos you don't actually own. You actually have to rent chocobos, which is a little bit
You
weird.
have 1 day left according to
Uh,
your thing in the top right.
Yeah.
So is the other thing? What's the sun for? Like, is that actually like
That just
weather?
shows you what time it's at, what
Okay.
time it currently is. So the further, so it's right now 8 in the morning.
The entire game is dynamic dependent on day-night cycle, so that means that there are certain missions that you can only partake in at nighttime. Certain creatures only come out at nighttime, and nighttime is generally more difficult, a la Dying Light.
Yep, same thing. Yeah, same thing with weather too. So certain enemies will only come out when it's raining, and so there are monster hunts in this game, and certain ones will only come out at night or if it's raining. I'm bummed we kind of haven't really gotten any of the side dialogue, because I actually think the writing in this game is pretty good. Like, I actually really like the characterization a whole lot. But the environment itself is actually it's a nice looking game.
Absolutely.
I think that, you're definitely traveling with a boy band, and that's always the biggest complaint everyone has. It's like, oh, they look like a bunch of fucking boy band people. And it's like, whatever. Like, they still are fun characters, and I still think everything else looks really
They are
good.
essentially what the Japanese definition of cool would be, because the
100%.
Japanese view these characters as all of them being cool in their own way, which is interesting, because that's again another kind of cultural clash between the Western style RPG and the Japanese one. Is that there are some sort of slightly more androgynous characters, like Noctis himself is a little bit kind of scenery, and you wouldn't really get a character of his stature in a Western RPG.
Yeah.
It would be like this big muscly dude. Or,
it'd be Duke Nukem.
Like, it would be Gladiolus would be the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you can actually, so that kind of allows me, you can actually change the clothing that your characters are wearing. So, like, I can change into, like, this nice suit. I can not wear a jacket. I got my casual outfit, which whoever designed this casual outfit deserves to get shot. But what if you notice in the bottom left, each of the outfits give you
something
different bonuses. I just keep him with the fatigues. With him, I usually, if I do anything, I'll just like take off his shirt and let him look super cool.
And they do comment on it as well, don't they? Like, while you're playing, they'll be like, if you're so hot, you should take your jacket off.
And he's
stuff,
like,
and
never.
Kind of hinting you to do that.
So here is the menu, since we're already in here. So you do have your map that you can go in through. You can kind of go through and see, okay, these are all the treasure chests I can go through and do. Here's
Very
this random side quest. It's a pretty large map. Here's all my side quests that I currently have going. And a pretty decent amount are going right there, and this is all my completed that I've done right there. So there's no shortage of side quests. I would say the biggest gripe I have with this game is that almost every side quest is a fetch quest of one form or another. So you have your gear, you can change your weapons. Noctis is the only one that's really able to wield all four things, and Noctis is also really the only one I've ever given magic to. You can change their primary weapons, their sub weapons, and stuff like that with each of the characters, but each of them has a specific
You can't play as them, right?
type.
You can partner with them, but you are Noctis.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
And each one, he's your long range shooter guy. He's an assassin who uses lances, and then he's like your tank type character. You have your Ascension, which is kind of like your skill grid. So as you go through the world, you'll see. Well, this is just one side right here. Then you have more there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and so you'll get AP, and then you can do different things. Like, okay, so I can get a better healing grade right here. On this one, I can get 8 more status boost time for meals eaten after camp and everything like that. So you have the ability to either improve single characters or skills.
And this is most similar to the Sphere Grid, which was probably the most beloved of the update.
Which is in Final Fantasy X.
Fantasy X, yeah.
You then have your skills, which are your fishing and everything like that, and then you can kind of see what the different levels are and what they do for you. You then lastly have Elemancy. So this is how magic works in this game. So you collect magic resources, and you have to actually fill these flasks with them. So I have right here I have fire, ice, and lightning. So I can just keep adding a bunch of fire, and then it just continues to get stronger. One additional thing then is I can go in and add an item to it. And so if I were to add a potion to it, I can cast Fire 3 times in a row, and it also will heal the caster. And so each of these things add different bonuses to them. Like this Mega Elixir allows you to cast the same spell 5 times in a row.
Essentially crafting your own potions.
Which I actually kind of like a whole lot. It's definitely not your standard Final Fantasy magic
It is
system.
one of the most removed parts, I think, is the magic system.
But I kind of like
I don't
it.
hate it. Yeah, I don't hate it at all, but it's definitely different. I still haven't mastered it yet, but it definitely, that's kind of almost more catering towards a Western style.
Yeah.
Like your Elder Scrolls,
There's a
etc.
hole.
Yeah, so this is where that lightning struck. I kind of wanted to start with this part here because it showed a little bit of this outdoor area. And whenever you get these dungeons kind of follow the same thing where they're super dark.
Oh, jeez.
And there's almost kind of like some horror-y elements
Wait,
to
do you
it.
have a flashlight on you, or are you holding it? Where's
It's
that light?
on
Okay,
my
it's your
chest right there,
Okay.
yeah.
It's like, where's that light coming from?
So, you know, you have your dungeons right here, and they're always like kind of these caves, and there's always kind of like these creepy parts to them.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Remember Brave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting right now.
This is a very similar area.
Yeah.
All right, and so we're
So
gonna
you got to shimmy,
yeah, shimmy through.
shimmy, 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 shimmy.
And they sometimes get you in bits like this as well.
Yeah, there
where
was
you'll be
one that
doing
actually
this.
had like a jump scare with it, which is
Yeah.
kind of funny.
But
But this
can
game is,
can you adjust the camera while you're in
no.
there? No. Okay. I didn't think so. No.
This game is just the weirdest fucking game I've ever played because it is nothing like any other Final Fantasy, even Final Fantasy 12, which is up until this point the most removed from Final Fantasy in regards to like history and like tradition and everything like that. And this game is even way more outside that. There's elements of horror. There's like Uncharted set pieces. There's God of War elements to it.
Oh.
All right, so these fuckers. So we'll go ahead. So yeah, I can switch through. You know, I can switch to my sword, my spear, and each one does different levels of damage. Has actually different kind of skill sets. He does a lot more flipping and everything like that with his sword. You have a parrying system, so if you block at just the right time, you can parry and usually knock someone off guard.
Certain enemies will have weaknesses to different weapons as
Yep.
well. So
My favorite's been the broadsword. Tom, what have you kind of figured?
yeah, the broadsword has been my favorite as well. I just love hunking that thing around.
It's so
I do
cool.
feel a little bit like Cloud when I have that. And the spear, the javelin or whatever, has been the second favorite. I do use magic. Not as often as I should, but yeah, so far broadsword is usually the way to go. I just
So
like.
here's-
There you go. He just learned a
I
recipe.
just learned a recipe because I just picked
Yeah.
up a thing, and now I can cook that, and so there'll be different stat benefits.
I just love warping at someone with that thing because would be terrifying.
So, as somebody who's never played Final Fantasy, what would your elevator pitch be to why I should buy this game?
It's not like Final Fantasy.
And that doesn't mean anything to me. That's what I'm saying. That means nothing to me. Well, if you were to go in and be like, this is why you should buy this game, what would be like your...
I think value for money is in there. I think you have a game that is, at very least, if you're going to put in all the side quests and everything, between 50 and 100 hours. I think there is definitely a lot of elements of story which are intriguing and interesting. The brotherhood relationship between the characters is something that I think you'd be a fan of. There is kind of people that you can identify yourself with, like I think you would identify quite well with the character Prompto, who is kind of the child of the group, and
What would you say the learning curve is?
learning curve. It's pretty good in game explaining it. Like there is a pretty hefty tutorial on combat right at the beginning, which takes a while to get through. But I think once you get it down, it's very satisfying.
Yeah. My elevator pitch would be the weirdest road trip you've ever been on.
Yeah. Because it is a road trip. You are driving, and you actually have the ability to drive the car, although I don't. You can drive the car around, and you have to fill up gas. You have to maintain certain survivalist things as well, Keegan. So there's a certain level of managing resources and things like that.
And you have to customize your car as well, so you can change like the color of it.
Because this when you start up the game, on the startup screen it says, I think it says, I can't remember the exact word, but it's like for Final Fantasy...
For fans and newcomers alike, yeah.
So it's kind of like, well...
It's one of the best ways to jump on board with the series if you've never played it, I think.
Yeah.
Just because of the departure of the main series. Like, it's definitely... Because fans of Final Fantasy get their fill out of it. Like, me and Jordan have definitely gotten our fill, like, as far as the things that make us think it's Final Fantasy. But at the same time, it's different enough to be intriguing and maybe to bring in some outsiders, so...
100%. And there will be people who ask also, pedigree for Tom and I for playing these. Like, I've played every Final Fantasy that's come westward multiple times.
Played all of them except for the Crystal Chronicles,
like
which
gas
I am
leaves.
semi-ashamed of, and also the Type 0.
Type 0 was a lot of fun.
I played all the single ones.
And yeah, I mean, 10 is your favorite. 9 is my favorite. Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
That's the thing with those.
They explode?
Yeah, they generally tend to explode if you don't kill them quick enough. That's actually the first time I've ever had. So your characters can get, like, knocked out, and so they're 0 HP, or they can actually, like, straight up die. My characters really haven't died too much.
So I know what a Phoenix Down is because of the controversy around an earlier Final Fantasy that I've heard.
What's that?
I don't know.
Doesn't a character die and like why can't you just revive him with Phoenix Down?
Eris, yeah.
Yeah.
That at this point is no longer a spoiler. Like everyone knows Eris dies.
So that's the only thing I know about. That's the only reason I know what a Phoenix Down is
Did they ever give a reason for that?
It's a storyline thing.
Yeah.
Just didn't happen to have one.
Because she needed to be absorbed into the earth. Here's the one that. Oh.
Oh, hi. How goes it? Hello.
Hello, Keegan.
Hello. Hi. They kind of look like the first fence was like the Jorah Mask looking dude.
And here, let me just straight overkill these fuckers. Blah, 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 blah. The weirdest thing with magic is that it is environmental, so it actually can hurt you and your characters if you were to walk through the fire.
And the area of effect is quite big too for a lot of people.
The magic is really weird in this game. It's I won't say it's necessarily overpowered, but if you get a concoction just right, you can definitely turn the tides of combat. And like what I really like about this battle system is like it's super easy to just look cool all the time. Like Noctis just teleports and flips around and is, you know, just doing a bunch of gnarly shit. I don't know where the rest of my team is right now and why they are not helping me, so that's cool.
Okay, you got this.
They're down there somewhere.
I know I got it, but like it would be
So,
nice to have.
To a link.
again, I'm gonna ask all these stupid Final Fantasy questions because I've never played one. But storyline, like if I was to go through this game and just do the main story, assuming I have to do some grinding to keep leveled up high enough.
I don't even necessarily think that that's true. I've barely done any grinding. Like if you do side quests, just even like a smattering of them,
Yeah.
you're gonna be over leveled. I would even say.
What? How long do you think the story itself, not including the DLC, there is DLC coming out.
Yeah,
just
it's gonna
the story
end
on
the story.
the original game.
I have heard people taking for just the story 20 hours,
Yeah.
which some people have issue with. But when I think about it, like the only reason Final Fantasy stories in the past were super long is because animation was super slow back then, and also you had to read everything.
Yeah.
Like so when I'm thinking about like, okay, if we remade Final Fantasy VII, made the animation
Which they're
faster,
doing.
yeah, voice acted everything, I actually don't necessarily think that if you just did that main story, you would be much past a 20-hour game. So
That's
like
fair.
it really is the side questing and
Yeah.
like
which is true with most RPGs. I mean, Elder Scrolls. To be honest, in Elder Scrolls,
Yeah.
you can go through that. Obviously, up to certain levels, but like, if you talk about the main storyline missions on that, I would probably say same, probably 15, 20,
Yeah.
25 hours.
Panther just got kidnapped.
Oh, by who?
We'll see in a second. I'm actually also going
Yeah, that's
to...
part and parcel of the fun for this. Is that it's really what you put into it is what you get out of it.
Yeah.
So like if you want to explore every nook and cranny and do all these kind of side things, then that is definitely your prerogative. But if you just want to jump through and play the main story, because the other thing about it is they have got a lot of accompaniment pieces to go with this as well. There's an entire movie and also an anime series called Brotherhood.
And the anime series is actually pretty good. It's a mind flare. And I'm actually going to also use a Mega Elixir, which is going to heal up all of my HP for everyone. Just because this part right here is kind of shitty.
Don't you get hairy? There's a lot of things happening.
To get kind of big.
That's one of the things from like again just observing you playing is there's a lot of shit that comes from a lot of directions. I feel like you're like, where the hell am I getting hit from?
So here's a special move that you can kind of do with your people. So if you hold down circle, now he's going to hold up his arm. I can teleport to his arm, and I can spin around and just hit fucking everything all around me.
And look cool while doing it.
Yeah, and so like then I'll grab his weapon, and now, okay, cool, I just did massive amounts of damage. And each character has different things that they can assist you with. So like, right now I think on Prompto, Prompto I just have a thing where he just does a really strong shot at someone. And then I can also do like a follow-up with Noctis afterwards. Ignis right now has one that's called Regroup, and you'll notice that there's like that little green bar that's on the left-hand side. That is what fills up to allow you to do those group things with your team members.
I'm feeling relatively quick. I assume that's because you leveled up.
Well, it fills up with every hit you take, and also with every
Breath you take, I'm watching you.
with every breath I take and every hit I make, I level up that guy. But like
that was a police joke for those of you who didn't know.
Yeah, I got you.
Surprised you.
I know you knew. I know the police. I grew up in a music family. That's one thing I know for the most part is music, other than when we do SingStar.
And pro tip, like, always so I have it actually set on Control Scheme 3, which moves your attack button to the right trigger and your dodge button to the left trigger. So it allows you to kind of get maybe a little bit better grasp of like the combat system, because previously the standard one, it's set to attack is square or circle and then dodge is square. So it like isn't really intuitive, because like you have to kind of with one thumb be attacking and dodging. So I think that having it on right and left trigger,
which is why they do the stuff like that,
is super helpful.
Here's a really dumb question, because
I think all questions are good questions.
When it comes to, because this is something I've been looking at recently, because a lot more games have had like colorblind mode and accessibility options. Does this game have any good accessibility options that you are aware of?
I think there are maybe just like your...
Because control layout is one that I think every game should have, but like I didn't know if they had any other ones. It's like, oh, this is really cool that they have this for people that...
Not that I've seen,
okay.
No.
They just do the standards of control, probably controller, they might have...
I think colorblind is less of an issue in a game like this than a game like, let's say, Battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just didn't know if they had, because like I said, control layout, because as you guys know, I'm gotten close to Able Gamers charity, and they talked about all these different things that games can do, and even PlayStation at PSX had an accessibility presentation that they did, which I found very interesting. And I just think about it a lot more after watching that and kind of talking to the head of Able Gamers and being like, hey, what are things that you guys put in a video game? And it's just been on my forefront of my mind when I play a game now, of like, what is put in that somebody who couldn't necessarily play makes it so they can.
It is interesting that they are catering. I think there's a lot more games these days that are catering to that than there ever have been.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I think that they're following suit with some of the companies, like the electronics companies that are making devices. You know, like companies like Apple.
So this bitch is why I wanted to do this section right here.
Snake.
So you got Naga.
I think I fought this.
It's Nagini.
And she was a bitch, if I remember.
Yeah, and you also, what's weird with this game is that they have dialogue options now, which has never been really been a thing with many Final Fantasy games.
Right. Well, Mass Effect-y.
Yeah. This one, there's no real way to win with this. Like, you can say, I know where, she's looking for a baby, so we'll do I know where, and she's like, that's because you took him, you motherfucker.
She didn't say motherfucker.
No, she didn't.
It's an ugly ass enemy though, isn't it?
Yeah, she's kind of annoying, but I think she's a fun fight. She can actually turn your characters into toads.
She looks...
Yeah.
Oh, it's Snake. Well done.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not as bad because of the face. It's really weird, her character design, just from the... It looks like a head literally just stapled onto a snake body.
Yep.
Yeah, this is definitely a bizarre looking enemy. It's not. It's very Japanese and bizarre.
Yeah.
I'm getting chills.
So when you do those warp strikes, you do additional damage and everything. But when you're hanging from that warp point, it refills HP and MP. So it's super beneficial to actually spend a little bit of
points and
time.
magic points.
Yes, thank you.
For those who may not know that, I know most people probably do, but as somebody who
that's still a good
doesn't
thing,
game,
though.
that's what those stand for.
And pairing, I mean, is something that's super good because you can put them in this vulnerable state, which just lets you
Whale.
friggin' just wail. And sometimes you'll do like those group things. So yep, I just completely.
Yay! What does AP stand for?
Ability points.
Ability points.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just how you level up.
That's how you do abilities.
Yep.
It's crazy how that works.
All right,
Cool.
so
Giant snake face
Murdered a
lady
snake.
is gone.
I had goosebumps there for a little while.
yeah, Prompto hates snakes too, so you and he would be.
Yeah.
So this is the end of this this dungeon right here. So we're gonna touch this magic tree.
Did you kiss it? Is it like the Blarney Stone?
But so this is how you get the summon spell Rama, which was actually in the episode Duscae. Or which one was the second one
Platinum.
with Platinum demo? Yeah. So the big old
Yep.
big old bearded dude.
I remember this.
Yeah, this game just looks good. Like this art style is great. I think Noctis I've actually come to really enjoy as well. I think he's actually a pretty well written character. He's not like he's definitely got like his very spoiled tendencies, but he's not completely bitchy and bratty.
And to be
about
fair,
it.
he's a prince.
Yeah, he's allowed
so
to be.
that's semi-realistic.
But he still was like, yeah, I really enjoy fishing because, I was lonely growing up and all these things. And, like, he doesn't complain about anything. He's just kind of like, all right, let's go ahead and do it. Like, he's more so, if anything, just kind of very passive and chill.
I love how your team's just, when you stop, they just rubber band back to you. It's like, boom.
Yeah.
Because you're going and stopping. And just like,
One of my favorite things, you can just return straight to the entrance as opposed to having to go
Wander
through
away.
the
That's nice.
entire...
Great feature.
oh, hi there.
Yeah, that's Luna. That's your wife.
Noctis did well for himself.
Yeah.
She looked like somebody. I couldn't figure out who she looked
She's
like.
also older than Noctis is by quite a bit.
So here's a question, because one of the things that always happens in Japanese games, you never really tell how old people are.
Yeah.
Do we know what ages we're supposed to be here?
Noctis is like 23, 24, something
Okay.
like that. Like they're all in their 20s except for like Gladiolus and stuff like that, who are probably 30.
Yeah.
And then Ignis, the British one with the white shirt. And yeah, he just takes out his cell phone. He'll get phone calls, and he's like, "Yeah, hey, your car needs to get fixed." So yeah, this is a portion where I actually have to go and break into a military base in order to get my car back. So I think at this point, if you guys are cool with it, I'll just load up a little bit of a later save.
Sure.
Where I have my car back. We can kind of look at maybe some of the monster hunts. Because I've been doing some of the side quests before, like, a major story beat. And so, alright, we'll go ahead and we'll skip over all this.
Yeah, I have actually done this portion of the game, and I had a lot tougher time with things because I was not as high of level as you are.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and we will load.
Saving, so it might take a second.
The loading times are a little rough on this game, but when you see how pretty it is, you kind of forget it a little bit.
I asked you guys, like, is it like Bloodborne or is it like Dark Souls where you load once and that's it?
I mean, there have been no load times with any
So
of
as long,
this,
so I mean, my thing on that is as long as that's the case, I don't have as much of an issue. It's when like you have to load to go into every single building,
Yes.
and there's a long load time on
Yeah.
top of that, and you're like, why? What's the point? I'm trying to think of what game I played the other day that had that. Here's all Jordan saves, by the way.
The only recent load problem I've had is with XCOM 2. The XCOM 2 load times are fucking horrendous.
Alright, so I'll go through with
The
this.
Division, but that's because I'm connecting to a server.
This is 3 chapters in before I'm about to cross the ocean. I am level 46, where I was level 26 with that other one. And so right now I'm just going through and doing some of the side quests. So I think what we'll do is we'll do a monster hunt. Maybe a fun one. We'll kind of show some of the car stuff that you can do.
Okay.
And then...
I gotta ask, how's the driving in the game?
It does it pretty
clunky?
much all for you.
Okay.
It's weird, like you can press left and right and it'll like start to move left or right, but it pretty much just does everything automatic for you. And I actually let one of your characters, Ignis, likes to drive a bunch, and you can just let him drive and you can just appreciate the scenery. And so I'll let him do that.
Can you? I assume at some point you could probably like warp.
You can't fast travel.
So you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, you can only fast travel to a place you've already been to, so
Yep.
there is a lot of like when you're in a car journey, a long car journey. Sometimes it's kind of frustrating because you have to wait for a long.
Well, that's what I was
time
gonna say.
to
How
get
long?
through.
Like when you're traveling, how do you get from one point to the other?
Real time, like 5 to 6 minutes for like the longest ones. But a lot of times what you'll also get is like prompt of being like, hey, let's take a photo here. Or like, hey, I heard about, like I randomly found like this super strong skill. So this is your car right here. I got a Moogle on the back right there.
It's a real nice looking kind of like luxury car.
You
So
can
yeah,
change them up.
So yeah, this is, you have like your gas stations and where you can just go and like buy shit.
Ding
So you can buy
dong.
like all your potions and your fishing stuff, and you can buy auto parts for everything, which I've actually already bought.
I like how you can buy the soundtracks for previous Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, that's
to
one of
play
the
in
best.
car.
I've had Final
Yeah.
Fantasy IX soundtrack going on. So this is one of the bigger cities in the game. It's called Lestalem. It's got a really nice view. Like this game is really
So
just very pretty.
for soundtracks, can you buy Cars by Gary Newman?
No, you can buy Final Fantasy VI though,
Yeah,
and
like-
that game's got good music.
Here in my car.
So pro tip, turn on in your settings the stamina meter for when you're sprinting. Oh, let me get back out to where I can sprint again.
Pro tip, don't run where you can't sprint when you're trying to show off how to sprint.
Yeah, so when you're sprinting, you hold down this little sprint button, which is the attack button. As the stamina meter goes down, once I found this out, it kind of changed. It was like a BuzzFeed article. It was like, these 6 tricks. So when it gets down to the near end, when he starts to raise his head, if you let go and click it down again, it automatically refills the stamina meter. So you can pretty much infinitely just run.
Do you think they'll patch that out at some
No,
point?
it's actually a feature because he has an animation for it.
Wow.
So if it was a glitch, there wouldn't
I
be
see,
a
yeah.
thing. So
I
I
see.
think it is really just like, because I mean, you know how it flashes green like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's actually, that is just what they want you to do.
But they don't tell you that.
Nope.
Cool.
There's a lot of stuff in this game that they don't tell you. So Tom mentioned that like, there's a really good tutorial, I think. But as a general whole, like I don't really think that they tell you too terribly much of anything. In a lot of ways, they
The
just
tutorial's
kind of
almost
you...
entirely combat.
Well, I was gonna
based.
say, which isn't a bad thing if you, because I don't want a game to tell me everything I need to know. I want to kind of find stuff for myself. But to me, that potentially could be a thing you find out by accident.
Yeah.
As long as there's a way to figure it out without having to do a very
100%
specific
there is.
thing, then I don't have an issue with it.
And I'm so used to things like Dark Souls where it doesn't actually tell you anything that it's just
Yeah.
like, okay, whatever. So the way that you get your monster hunts is you go and find your little food guys right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do another meal with him just so I can show you how it looks. So we can go ahead and eat offal stew.
Spicy skewers.
Yeah, let's do the spicy skewers. So we'll place
And I
that.
assume Gil is your currency.
You got it.
Cool.
So when
Again,
you,
Final Fantasy noob here. That's why we got
Yeah.
Jordan.
like, look at that food. Well, look at how nicely rendered that is.
It's
Yeah.
yummy looking.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, like, my brain is like, is that a picture on a plate or is that a...
So their
Rendering
director
in.
actually was like, we spent way too much time doing photos, so now he re-aped that. Now he knows how to make this meal.
Right.
So now whenever we camp, we
With
can
his
make
Michael
it.
Jackson glove?
Yeah. But they definitely spent a lot of time, you know, making those
And it's
meals.
noticeable because we've all commented on them.
Oh, I don't know who this is.
Level
Aramusha.
Where do you see your level?
In the menu. So let's go
Okay.
ahead. I don't know what this one is. So you got your different ones right here. You have your hunter rank up there, which as you do different hunts, you get a higher rank. So
And
certain
all of
things
these would be
So
quite
why-
hard for you. You're level 30, right? Well,
I'm level 46.
Yeah.
oh,
So
okay.
I'm gonna do this in a heat.
Why is that one grayed out? Assuming
Because
the checked ones are the ones you've already done, I'm guessing.
correct. This one, if I try to do it, you have to be a rank 4. So I have to
I
get
see.
my rank up there.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this in a heat of haze of glory because I have no idea.
You doing Inagata da Vida, honey.
I've never seen this one before. It only comes out at night. So nice little feature here again. Do you want to wait until nightfall? Yes.
How long is the... I like how you have a counter on the bottom left, by the way, that
Hmm.
does exactly. How long is the day-night cycle?
I
would you
mean,
guess?
maybe 15 minutes is a day.
Okay, so it's not like you're waiting an hour or 2
Yeah.
hours to get through
Yeah.
a day-night cycle.
So I'm level 42 and 43, kind of respectively. The thing is like I've beaten enemies that are 20 levels ahead of me. Ultimately, just because I have
Because you got good.
strong enough gear or whatever. All right, so let's see where we need to go for this guy. So
on the other side of the map.
So he is. Where the fuck is this guy? Oh, he is right there. All right. Oh, he's in the. Okay.
Battle
in
Arena?
the city.
Yeah, he's in the city. There's actually this like coal facility that's here. But I like that like the nightlife kind of changes a little bit too. You know, people come in and out and do certain things. This town actually, women are the only ones who do manual labor. Men do like the cooking and everything like that.
So it's like role reversal of stereotypical gender
Yeah.
roles.
And also right there, you have that little question mark in the menu. You got a side quest.
Ah.
And like that's really, I think, a very cool looking background right there. So this guy or this gal,
Hey.
Hi.
my favorite hunter. Who, me?
Who else? Name's Holly, by the way.
Do it's kind of hard to hear them, but do the lips tend to match up? Because I'm assuming it's dubbed over.
Here, not really, but in the actual cutscenes, yes, because
Okay.
they actually recorded this game motion captured in English.
Okay,
Like almost all of the cutscenes are motion captured.
for both.
I'm gonna go ahead and just skip.
Because
most
I
of
have to
that.
imagine that's probably the most expensive part of this game is getting it
God, this game, I don't even know how much
getting it over.
it probably cost.
Do we think it made its money back?
I don't know.
I mean, they keep it going, so they've got. Otherwise, it would have. I
It-
mean, let's be honest. Nobody would make a video game even if it was really well received if it didn't make money.
And now I get to wear this cool
What do you?
fucking thing. So I'm
an
inside this.
astronaut?
I'm inside this heating thing, so I have to wear. All right, so I have to go up.
You're an
Uh,
astronaut.
Like a boiler suit.
Yeah. All right, so I'm actually gonna. Oh, can't save. All right. Let's see how this goes.
Can't do that, Jordan. You can't-
Actually,
Ooh, I need.
I'm also going to change to Ice Magic because I feel like I have Fire equipped. Fire might not work out well against a fire enemy. Alright. So we're going to go through gear here. Look at all my cool outfits.
You really look like a spaceman.
Oh, I have no spells. Oh, okay. I had spells in the other one. So, okay, we'll go ahead and we'll make some more Elemancy. I don't have too much. So we'll just add a bunch of ice. And we'll add... I always, with my spells, there is a Magitech booster here, which just increases the potency of it pretty exponentially. Alright, we'll go equip that. Alright, so now... Oh, I thought I equipped it.
Nope, nope, nope.
Alright.
Go find Mars. No.
I'm not going to find Mars. I'm going to find Satan.
Oh, he's there.
Yep.
I can't see him. Oh, I see him.
Alright, so now... Bah. I have a feeling I could... Oh, yep, he does a lot of damage.
That's a big ass sword as well.
Alright, so elixir you. And then you can also like walk by people who are downed, and they will just like they'll get a little bonus if you heal them and everything like
Touch
that.
him back to life.
Yeah, touch him back to life.
I'm trying to look at this monster things. Oh,
Fucking
yeah.
hell!
wow.
Get wrecked.
This might not have been the best one to.
I mean, he was level 52.
Yeah, but I'm only 10 levels lower than him, so that shouldn't be.
Yeah, normally you might want to be the same level.
No.
I know you said you beat things 20 levels, but that's usually video game logic says if it's higher than you, it's probably not a good idea. From what Elder Scrolls has taught me.
To be fair, there is 4 people,
Yeah, that's true.
but you're only controlling one of them, so.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll make it through.
We're good.
And I think that sometimes the harder fights in this game are where some of the most fun is at, because I actually have to go through and think a little bit. So here's his regroup skill where he just hollers at everyone.
Is he a samurai?
Yeah. So he just hollers at everyone, and we all get close by him, and he starts to like heal up everyone.
Have they all got some status effects on them right now?
Everyone I think right now has currently. Yeah, he is just.
You're getting. You know, again, it wouldn't be a bite without Jordan dying, right? Just gotta go back to the good old days. I think there's only 2 that we ever recorded that you didn't die in.
Oh, 9,999. Alright, yeah, this wasn't the best one to choose. Alright, so we'll get to see what a game over screen looks like.
Have faith in yourself, man. You can do it.
Yeah, you got it.
Mega Phoenix, there we go.
The Jordan I know wouldn't give up just because of big monsters beating him in the face. He would Dark Souls it and be like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking wreck this shit. Are you the Jordan I know?
Significant amount of damage.
Yeah, see, you got this. You're killing them. Kinda.
Alright, there's that blind side.
Oh god.
See, it's just probably going to be a very slow go-in battle, because I'm going to have to stop every 5 seconds to heal pretty exponentially. Alright, so I think he takes a little bit more damage from spears.
Good combo. You have two hits there.
Alright, so...
Don't forget to use that ice spell when it comes back.
Yeah, the ice spell seems to be doing pretty okay for me.
Get him. Get him. I've decided with this game there's a lot of flashy lights and a lot of things that happen. It obscures your vision.
And
the other thing is I don't like that fence being there too from a camera perspective.
Alright, nice, got a parry. Cool.
Yeah, camera angles are a little rough.
Yeah,
like you are in close quarters right now.
Like I said, there are so many things about this game that I think are absolutely terrible. Oh, come on, let me use the elixir. There are a lot of things in this game that I think are really bad, but
the good things,
it is, yeah, the good things are so good that it really just is like, it is so fantastic in so many ways that I'm just like, you know what, it's completely okay that it's kind of shitty in a lot of these ways. I'm actually gonna maybe be able
Didn't you just say you were trying to give up here? Look what happened.
I think he ran with the ice spell.
Yeah.
I did run out of the ice spell. You are correct. Which is fine.
Which is fine.
I'm okay.
I'm good. I got this.
Alright, so we're gonna use this high elixir to heal up pretty.
Might get hit a few times, but I got this.
I am getting at least healed like constantly because of a piece of equipment that I have.
That's the best piece of equipment now. Is when you're scared. Look at that. 16, 18, 20, 22.
Yeah, this
24,
spear is really doing some work on him.
27. Oop, still going. Oop, 30. Oh, that's it.
Oh, that's my combo.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It wasn't just randomly yelling numbers. That's how high, because you had your highest one before that was 2. So you definitely blew that one out of the water.
1 or 2 more big hits, he's done for.
Yeah, and I'm gonna use this Mega Phoenix just to revive him, but also heal up everyone. Bingo!
See, you said you were gonna do it. What do you get for beating these guys? Anything good? Is it worth it?
Yeah, so this one, I think when I looked at what I get, and so I get from him $15,000 and a pretty nice reward.
A bangle.
Yeah, so I get that $15,000. So that's pretty much the biggest side quest difference is these monster hunts. So you have your standard fetch quests, you have your monster hunts, and then you have ones with one guy where you can take different photos. And so but really all of them are in one way or another. Go to point A, or go to point B, kill thing at point B, take back to point A, repeat. And so if I had one major criticism with this game, it is just that the side quests, I think, are of a lesser quality than like maybe some of the older Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
Because the older Final Fantasies were like, here's like kind of this cool storyline that you can go through and appreciate. Where some of that, there will occasionally be the storyline driven side quest, but those are few and far between aside from like, okay, we're just gonna, go and grab there's some shit. Yeah. Which kind of bums me out a little bit. But again, I think that the combat's so fun because it is really just very simple to do very flashy things. And you just saw there, like, I was able to beat this guy that was still doing 10,000 damage to me per hit. Maybe I had to, strategize a little bit and figure out how I needed to use some healing and some spells and stuff like that. But I was still able to take him down with a little bit of effort.
You said you were going to give up at one point. And then I was like, fuck you, Jordan, you're not doing that. You're going to beat him.
And then I had to do it just to spite you.
Yeah. There's a reason I push a button sometimes. Just get the best out of you.
Told me to get good.
Yeah, get good, and you got good. I mean, I'll admit when you did good sometimes.
Thanks, Keegan.
I know that means a lot to you.
It does. So now I go back and I talk to him, and he's like, "Hey, good job. You
should rank up your hunt
skill." No, I'll be at 27. So now I have to. I could probably do one more hunt, which. Do you want to see like some fishing or a side quest, or do you want me to do one last hunt and then we can call it there? How are you guys feeling?
I would say do one last hunt, and if you happen to come across fishing or something on the way, then we'll stop by and take a quick look.
It's a spider.
Show 'em what you're made of.
The
My least favorite thing to kill.
Yeah. So Keegan, what are your thoughts on kind of seeing this as someone who's not really much of a Final Fantasy or like much of a JRPG or RPG player in general?
I'm intrigued by it. I think. So I'm in a weird place with games. Like you guys know, I watched Jacksepticeye play The Last Guardian versus playing it myself. I could see me following and watching somebody who enjoys this series a lot on YouTube, but I don't think it's a game I personally would pick up and play. But it does look awesome. I like all the little tiny things that they have, like the cooking, the gear sets, all that kind of stuff. One of my complaints is I always want gear and visuals to be separate.
Yeah.
In a game, just because
your weapons do change your appearance, but your clothes just always stay the same.
But I understand why people enjoy this, and I get why it's quote unquote a big deal. Like this kind of stuff. Like I love this little shit like this, where you're like, oh, okay, you did that.
And let me see, how do I view, there we go, R3. So I can go through and view like all my photos. So like that's a start, that's her because she's got tits.
That's boobs.
You got that nice one right there. Like there are just these really cool action shots that you can get every once in a while. And I really like these ones like
just hanging out.
Of them just hanging out, because I think that it really just shows these characters.
I like that one.
Yeah, these guys. I thought that was a funny one. It just kind of shows that these characters are all really good friends.
Well,
They're all just kind of goofy.
It also makes the world feel more lived. It makes it more real.
And then I like those kinds of ones where it's just like he's just taking a shitty one, and it's funny. But like, I think this is one of the. It's an incredibly small thing that's inconsequential in so many different ways.
But it adds so much.
But I think it adds so much to the
actual.
actual.
Because you can hold up to 150. Assume if you wanted to, you could. Oh yeah, I can see where you can delete it.
Yeah. But like that one was really cool because it's just like the outline of some guy like on fire. But yeah, I mean, so you have all these different photos, and a lot of them are very similar in a lot of ways, but you do get some really neat.
I think it just adds, like I said, it just kind of adds
to the immersion of the world. Yeah.
And you're just like, okay. Well, one of the things I noticed when you're walking around the market, kind of, you mentioned it a little bit, but the fact that things change, and during the day it feels more lived in versus at night it's a little bit more desolate. Like, a lot of games don't do that, and I like that kind of stuff. Again, it's the little details. To me, the one thing that's holding me back is. I'm not very good when it comes to defeating big monsters like that. Like, I'm very much run in and whack as quickly as I can and hope I don't die.
Yeah.
Which this takes a lot more strategy than that, and I know I wouldn't be very good at that.
That's also Keegan's strategy for women.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
whack as fast as I can, and then get out of there.
And hope I don't die.
Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and do the regalia. I'm going to have him, and you can actually like get to a shop right there. So that being said, I actually am going to go ahead and load up on some shit.
And they'll remind you as well while you're playing, you know, oh, you should probably get some more potions, or, you know, they give you little hints as to things that you should be keeping up with, which I always thought was kind of sweet.
Sushi. That food, though.
I know, right?
Let's be honest. Like, the food, so far, the food is my favorite part. Seriously, Tom, we need to find some recipes. I'm sure they're online.
There's bound to be a cookbook release.
And we need to do a Final Fantasy gamer food thing. Or even just, we should do it just for game food in general.
We're not going to fast travel. We're going to go ahead and actually have him do a little bit of driving. I might fast travel at some point, depending on how long it actually takes.
Suicide doors.
But this is pretty much how...
Don't run into that car.
Like, the driving is with the game. So, like, and if you click the R3...
See, you have gas. What happens if you run out of gas? Do you have to actually push the car?
You have to push the car.
So if you click the R button, you actually can change, like, your camera angles.
Yeah.
Super not safe in driving like this. I prefer to drive out here because this allows me to like look at all the vistas and everything and appreciate it. And then you can also go ahead and you can pause music. So I have a Final Fantasy 13 soundtrack there, Final Fantasy 10 soundtrack, which we'll go ahead and we'll do. We'll do some Blitzball music. Yeah. So you can see right there where like I have my quest markers that are all right there. And if you actually like press the little navigator thing, you can see where you are in the menu or the map, and then you can actually like see that picture in pictures. I think it's a really cool thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and actually just fast travel to there because that's the driving. Like the driving is fun because there are character interactions that happen during it, but the driving is definitely not like.
Hey, did you know game overs when Noctis loses all of his HP?
Oh.
You can load from your most recent save and simply return to the title screen.
Okay, cool.
I love how they have to tell you what a game over is.
For those newcomers to Final Fantasy who might not know,
game over is when you die. Just FYI.
All right, so I think I'm super close to where these spiders are. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in here, this cafe, and I am gonna get some chow. I think maybe not.
Ding dong.
Okay, so I can't actually buy food here. Never mind. Fucking my way, homie.
Chesting people.
And here's a nice little Chocobo rental stand. I just always say spend the 7 day.
The 7 day max.
Yeah, and just deal with it. It's $350. Like it's not. And I'm gonna go ahead and just call my Chocobo.
Gil.
Sorry. Thank you, Keegan.
You
sure this is your first Final Fantasy, bro?
Yeah. Well, that's like so. The other day I was watching somebody play City Skylines, and he just would call it 350 money or whatever, and that's actually what the game calls it. Like
money.
Because it's a weird symbol. It's not like any sort of currency.
Yeah.
He's called it money, and he's like, you know what? Those of you who gave me hate in the comments, that's actually what it's called. So fuck you. Like one of those moments. He's like, I'm gonna call it that. I'm gonna call you guys out, and then I'm gonna stop. But Do not jump over. Is there a invisible wall there?
Yeah, so I need to figure out. Oh, there are those stairs over there. Okay. But the game runs at a pretty consistent clip. Like, I've never really noticed any major performance issues, which I think, again, for a Japanese company is kind of slightly unheard of.
Yeah. We're also
because,
playing this on a PS4 Pro.
Yeah, but I've even heard on the standard PS4, it still runs pretty well.
Yes.
Another pro tip that I kind of showed Tom earlier, you can actually, when you sprint, you can drift with your Chocobo. So let me get to a nice...
Or you can kill the Chocobo by running him into a rock.
He's fine. Oh,
No.
I've never seen that guy
No.
before.
Nope.
No,
We already
we
had one snake.
Yeah, we don't have to fuck with him. I don't think
Grabbies.
those are any of the ones that I need to worry about.
Oh, something's after you.
We're fine.
It's fine. It's okay. I know this is real dumb, but I really wish like the Chocobo would poop.
No,
like-
it's not Metal Gear Solid 5.
I know, just like the realism of stuff like that. I just love that kind of like there was I'm not gonna I guess I won't spoil it what game it was, but there was a game recently where the creature just constantly was pooping. And it was actually part of the story.
I mean, if you're talking about Trico, then...
No.
What game?
I don't want to say it.
Nice ride.
Was it really that big of a
Yeah.
spoiler?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's very important to the story at one point.
Did the guy poops?
Yeah, the creature poops.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I would do if I was a game developer. Just make a game like that.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hoping we would have an outdoor battle. I didn't want to have another in a fucking cramped quarter. Well, we got some flan. Flans are one of those guys that they've been around in like every single Final Fantasy.
I'm still confused on what makes the game Final Fantasy.
The name.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And the fact that there are certain characters and things like the summons and stuff like that that are all concurrent.
I'm surprised it's not like sci-fi fantasy or something like that, because it tends to me to feel more sci-fi.
Well, you know where the name Final Fantasy came from, don't you?
Yeah, well, they didn't think there was ever going to be another one.
Yeah, they basically, if the game wasn't a success, they were going to close down Square. Squaresoft did that? It was Squaresoft.
Interestingly,
Yeah,
they
it's
didn't
just-
change it up after the second one.
Yeah,
Then.
yeah.
Ongoing fantasy.
Yeah.
And you notice that you get those links every once in a while. So if you attack enemies from the side or when they're vulnerable or whatever, you'll sometimes get those links where just you doing team damage, and that's a team damage, little combined attack that allows you just to do more damage than you normally would.
Man, this guy is hidden deep in here.
Yep. And then there's sometimes these like environmental little locations.
It's like Mario 64. Using the slide.
Alright, fuck those
Is
guys.
it the penguin?
I'd rather go
Yeah.
ahead and just...
Penguin slide.
Oh god.
Found it.
There he is.
The beast, alright.
So do creatures have like weak points that you would prefer to target versus others? Or?
Not really. Well, certain ones, I guess, like their stomachs, like if it's like a turtle or something like that.
You wouldn't obviously want to hit on the show, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like if you were to chop his leg off, would that?
No, there's no like
Okay.
and bodily destruction
Yeah.
or anything like that with these things.
Because my brain with something that big, you're like I should probably take its leg out so that way it can't chase me down and I can run away. You just got whacked. Hey Tony, you just got whacked.
Hey
You
Tony.
can whack you off. What I gotta do? Whack
Wait.
a guy off a guy, whack off a guy.
I don't know if that's the phrase that you want to be necessarily using, Keegan.
I mean, it was a Family Guy
Oh,
reference.
sorry, I don't watch that filth.
That filth was actually used to be pretty good. Now it's not so.
That vile. I would just love it if I knew where my team currently was.
There's a warp point.
So we're gonna chill up here for a hot second.
They're fighting the little ones. There's some little ones.
Yeah, the ones you probably ran past.
No, these are ones that she summoned.
Oh yeah, I don't know what your team is. Maybe they didn't jump down in the
Well, I'm
cave.
saying you ran past that one that was trying to attack you. Would they have fought that?
Can you
Not that
call
I.
them to you?
No, not that I've ever seen. No.
Or if you do a link attack, maybe they'll just appear.
That's not realistic. Neither is fighting a giant spider, but
Yeah, giant spider with.
what?
I don't know. Sorry, I was trying to strategize a little bit.
Second on the edge there.
Here's what I am gonna do though. We're gonna jump into the. I do like that you can just go into the menu at any point and
Yeah,
just make
Freezes.
spells.
I was gonna say you're obviously gonna do fire because you have nothing else.
I was gonna do fire because in my mind, fire would probably
Burn a spider.
burn a spider the
Kill it with
most.
fire is a pretty common phrase when dealing with spiders.
I just take a shoe to it. Do they have a? Can you make like a spell that just summons a giant shoe and just squish it?
Keegan, find me a shoe big enough to take down that.
I'm gonna find one for you.
So as you saw, that was just a quint cast, so it was able to cast that 5 times on him. So sometimes these, like, even these smaller ones, like this is a one that's 2 levels lower than I am. Although, granted, I am fighting him currently by myself. But they can still be relatively formidable. Oh, cool. Great.
Hit him in the butt.
No, I'm frozen.
Oh.
Or yeah, they did a time spell on me.
Can you not press L1 and call in like a prompting shot or something, see if he shows up?
Yeah, they're all currently dicking around somewhere else. It's fine. I'll just take them out myself. I mean, whatever. Not like I'm royalty or anything.
Does it show you on the main map where they are?
No.
That's dumb.
What's interesting to me, I remember one of the first times I woke up from a caravan, I start kind of walking around the encampment area, and then Prompto just comes sort of running up out of nowhere by himself, and it's just me and Prompto for a while. And then suddenly Gladio and Ignis, showed up, and it was almost like everyone was off doing their own thing, and then as soon as I started heading in a direction,
They were
all
like, hey,
started
wait!
following me. Yeah, and they all sort of just appeared out of nowhere, which I thought was kind of cute.
Like I said, the characters I think are very well done and realistic in a lot of ways.
Hey, do you know if your HP goes to 0, that's game over?
Oh, is it? Thank you,
Yeah.
Dean.
I just want to make sure you're aware of that tip.
Yeah. Suck that fire.
Love this time spell that she uses on me. That's really fucking great. Yeah, there definitely is, like you mentioned before, where like it kind of is hard to make heads or tails sometimes on like what's going on.
Like this.
Yeah, so it definitely is something where you start off the game and it's way slower paced than what it is now. And like this later in the game, it's just like, okay, this is just straight madness. But playing it, I can't really describe how good it feels.
Yeah.
It just does. It just feels right.
Would you compare it to having sex?
No.
Okay. On a scale of 0 to sex.
Although I usually do just flail around and hit things randomly and hope, hold
And hope.
certain parts down and hope that they do
Connect.
what I want. And occasionally have a prompt that says repel or parry. And I'm like, what am I parrying? Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would really love it though. I would so much if I actually had a team. Like this fight would have been 5 seconds long, I think, if I had my team with me. And I really don't know what happened to them.
You left him in the dust.
Probably.
Yeah. I do it all the time with video games. I just run and people are like, where the hell did you go? I'm like, I don't know, I went this
You would
direction.
have thought they would have caught up by now, though.
Yeah, I know, right? You would think that
Well, unless they're stuck on the environment somewhere.
they're actually pretty smart. Like the AI isn't necessarily like the most brilliant thing, but I've never really seen them get hung up on the environment too terribly much.
Because, I mean, you are in a giant hole right now.
Yeah, but I slid down said hole like on a slide.
But maybe they didn't know to slide down a slide.
But they're supposed to follow me.
Yeah, but if they're fighting, then they're like, oh, where'd he go? And they're like, I don't know. He went this way. Maybe
They
he didn't go that.
usually,
Maybe he
like,
went the other way.
The
You don't know.
AI is set up pretty well to just be like, yeah, we just need to follow Noctis the whole time.
They do tend to get out of your way quite often.
Oop.
I think it's quite smart AI.
Yeah. I have never at any point been like, this AI is too intrusive on what I'm trying to do right now.
Which is weird, because most video games,
It's usually the
that is the
opposite.
case. I mean, I talked about Division a lot today, but the JTF and Division are absolutely useless.
Oh yeah.
They do nothing. He's gonna fuck up my little guy.
Yep. Yep.
Is
And
it babies?
I wish I had more magic, because if I had more magic... Oh, great. So I have 0 health, and I'm also frozen in time.
Did
Get
you
that
buy
game
a fuck
over.
ton of high potions?
Yeah, I got a bunch of high potions and like elixirs and everything like that. See, I just don't know if that guy is actually doing much damage, that spear. I don't want to really be attacking that little fucker.
Oh,
God damn it.
oh, I can't see what's happening. Oh god, you just got body slammed by a spider somewhere in there. This is what it looks like. I mean, this game has a lot of colors going on.
Oh yeah, this game, like I said, this game's art direction is phenomenal.
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 I wonder how long it took them to come up with the creature designs.
10 years.
I mean, I would. A lot of them are. I mean, 10 years is probably close. A lot of them are ones that have also been in previous iterations. There we go.
He looks like a gorilla spider, actually, when you look at him close.
Previous iterations of them. Alright, so I just killed him. Now I'm able to report back to the tipster.
Your finesse was A+ there. Your time and everything else was bad. So apparently you did that finesse it? What's the
I
word?
finessed
You
it.
finessed it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Alright, so now I'm gonna go, once I kill these fucking imps, I'm gonna go try to find my teammates. Maybe they're just dead in the ditch.
Could be. You've been yelling the whole time and they're just not alive.
They're like, sorry man, like...
Which should still give you the prompt to exit the dungeon, right?
No, but I believe I should be able to fast travel. Alright, so we're gonna walk up here. What if they were just chilling up here? It's like, hey, we thought you were doing pretty good.
What is that you're collecting?
So that's, yeah, your magic. Sorry,
That's what I thought.
didn't mean to, like, mention that each time.
That's what I thought.
That is
That's what it
your
looked like.
magic. Alright, I don't really want to fight all these fuckers.
I mean, I feel like you don't have much of a choice.
No, I can get out of here. Maybe. Oh, that's a little story thing. God damn it. I just want to find my guys.
They ran away. I told you. They didn't know where you went. They left the cave, go to find help, and they're like, Noctis is now gone. He walked into a cave, slid down an ice thing somewhere, and never showed back up.
He's dead.
Yeah, they're like, fuck this. We're going to make Final Fantasy.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so you can return from to the entrance from the menu. So yeah, and that's pretty much what a lot of this game's loop is. I mean, there are a lot of the bigger story things. I didn't necessarily want to show any of those because I didn't want to.
Found him.
Fuckers. Didn't necessarily want to spoil any of the story elements. Yeah, it's Final Fantasy 15. It's a pretty cool game. I know, Tom, you've been playing quite a bit. Keegan, you may at some point in your life give it a go.
I think it's lived up to a lot of its expectations. It's not a perfect game by any means, but it is really, really good.
Yeah, like I said, it is definitely better than the sum of all of its parts, I think.
Agreed.
Each individual part might not be phenomenal, but I think as a general
I think that
whole,
statement at the beginning where it says for fans and first timers is never been truer.
I completely agree. So, yeah, it's definitely worth the... there's me refueling.
It's in the front. That's weird.
It is definitely... Was it worth the 10-year wait? I guess so, because I'm really liking it. Are there things that I think that they could have probably done better in 10 years? Sure. But I am just glad that there is something that is a AAA game that's almost as weird as Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah. It's solid and tangible, and it's out there in the wild.
Yeah.
And you can play it yourself.
Did you have that initial oh shit moment? It's here?
I did.
Yeah, I kind of had that weird little moment where I was like, oh my god,
This is real.
This is something that is a real thing that
But you took some days off as well to dig into it.
I took 3 days off to play it, and I was making some chili and doing all this other stuff, and like, yeah, I really enjoyed what I did with that. So
That's what I'm gonna do for ukulele.
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's real.
Well.
I might actually do that too. So yeah, guys, this is Final Fantasy 15. I like it a lot.
Awesome. Well, thanks for showing us Final Fantasy 15 in its final form. No pun intended. We followed the journey of this game all the way through all of the demos up to now together, so it's nice to get sort of a cherry on top and closure. And it sounds like it's worth a buy. So if you're into Final Fantasy, or even if you're not, might be a good time to dig in.
Or at least take a look at it.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. And as always,
welcome to the second level.
Bye.